Doop doop doo 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 doop doo. Welcome to the Smeggie Cave. What's going on, everybody out there in YouTube land and over here in the panel? How's everyone doing tonight?
Doing good.
Did somebody spill something here, or is it just this moist?
It's moist. It's always moist. In the
Don't
cave.
look at the floor. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, no problem, Z. It's good talking to you again.
It is.
I miss your eclectic knowledge of every actor, actress, movie, TV show in the entire world.
I poured some water on these, what I thought were hot rocks, because I thought this was a sauna, but I guess it's your collection of eggs over here. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
that's not a pile of marbles in the corner.
That's okay. I'll forgive you. I'll end up just freezing over, no big deal.
I watched the dumbest movie ever yesterday. So I was on the Amazons, because that's all I have now. I don't have the Netflix or the Hulu's or the YouTube Red. What else is there? Any of the other ones that cost money. So I was watching something, and then you know how it'll kick out and say, here's some other movies that are good. I'm going to go get the name of this so you can tell me if you've ever heard it. I don't think anybody's ever seen it. Anyway, it's about two cable installers, digital cable installers are installing cable into the White House, into the Oval Office. Then the president walks in to have an interview with an intern and then tells the Secret Service to leave. And then aliens booby trap the Oval Office. Anyone seen this movie?
I have not.
That sounds exactly like what would happen.
Yeah, it was the weirdest plot.
All right. It's going to be it. That's my autobiography. I don't know how that got leaked.
How do I... There's a way to see what you've seen. Get this. Watch list? Isn't there like a watch list? Like what you've seen?
Yeah, usually. Sometimes it's... I don't know. When it's free, sort of not free, they put it under like purchased as well. Like if it's a Prime, sometimes they'll say. But watched is usually at the top, isn't it?
Your watch list. Movie.
God bless you.
That was an email.
Wait, your email sound is like a sneeze noise?
No, it's like a swoosh, like swoosh. That's what Apple has chosen for me.
Like when they would go up in the tubes.
I haven't even seen half the movie that it says I've seen.
Yes.
That's a shame. I have guilty.
Well, your watch list is supposed to be like, you can add stuff to your watch list. Like, oh, I want to watch this at some point.
Oh, good idea.
And sometimes it pops in suggestions into there.
All right, then I'm looking at the wrong thing. Because, yeah, I was looking at watch list like if it was the stuff I had watched. I know I've seen a list because that's how I did it for the Daily Gun Show one time.
Maybe your video library?
Watch next. Continue watching. Okay.
Oh, wait. I got a question. Okay, does everybody here have Prime or not so much?
Well,
Yes.
Okay. I want to ask if everybody saw the Electric Dreams, the Philip K. Dick Electric Dreams, the one where it's fucking where Amazon took over the fucking globe.
Yes, I've been talking about that show like nonstop for.
What's her name? Janelle? Is it
week.
Janelle Monáe? What is that her name? The lady that's basically the interface.
No idea what names. You'll never get me to know a name.
I think it's Janelle Monáe. I think. But anyway,
Oh no.
when I was watching that, I definitely all I could think of was it's literally the streaming service that I'm utilizing right now as part of the fucking issue in the movie.
Does it?
Oh, yeah, let's see. A factory that makes stuff and delivers things with drones.
Can I click on this? This isn't copyright, is it? Just looking at Amazon.
I think, yeah, just looking at it, I don't.
So have you heard of this movie, Arming America, 2018? This is the real story of how America became armed, the story of America's first Silicon Valley, the Connecticut Valley of the mid-19th century. It's the story of the founding fathers of America's gun industry, Samuel Colt, Oliver Winchester, Remington, Smith, and Daniel Wesson, as well as a whatever of lesser-known American gun inventors.
I have not seen it, but I'm adding it to my watch list right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Four
I have
and a
not seen it, but I will. Yeah, but wait a minute. 4 reviews, dude. Wait a minute. Back the truck up. Pump the brakes.
Yeah, okay.
4 reviews at 4.5 stars. That doesn't necessarily make it so. However, I'm interested in the subject matter enough to chance them, as they say around here.
Is that new? I didn't know the 1984 was in here.
It just came back on. As a matter of fact, that's one of the recently added movies.
Have you guys ever seen this movie called Electric Dreams, where a guy fills champagne on his keyboard and his computer falls in love with him and then ruins his relationship with his new girlfriend upstairs?
What was
Don't think that's the same
movie?
one,
Wait,
buddy.
no. Wait. What was that movie?
That was Electric Dreams from back in like
The actual movie. I remember that movie. I definitely remember that movie.
Every time Smeggie says it, that's what I'm like. No, that's what Electric Dreams is. Not the...
That's why I tried to throw in the Philip K. Dick part, and probably just because I wanted to say Dick on the air. Dick. Now I say it has a different connotation the way you say it, though, but that's okay.
I don't know.
And now I will admit I did watch Justice League because that was a newly added one, and I didn't think it was as bad as everybody else did. And I think I watched Power Rangers, and Power Rangers was as bad as everybody else.
Wait, Justice League is on here? Because I do want to see that, even though I don't have high hopes for it.
It's free on Amazon, and it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. And I watched Power Rangers.
Wait, no, I take it back. I paid for it. It looks like. Damn
no,
it.
you didn't. I watched it. I didn't pay nothing.
Are you sure? Justice League, not Batman versus Superman. The new Justice League that just came out, like in. Well,
I've got the free. Oh, it is not included with Prime. Maybe that was just a special weekend or something.
No, man. I think. Well, maybe it could have been.
Oh, I know. I seen it on Prime. I just seen it the other day. I wish it would give me a link to what I've seen already.
Man, I swear there's a watch under the. Let's see here. Let me see.
So, did any of you guys watch Hank Strange? They're talking about it out there in the chat.
What happened to
They were
Mr.
watching
Strange?
Hank Strange thing earlier, and they had some lady on.
The
I
lady.
did not see it.
Hey, well, okay. I did not see it.
Your lists? No.
Yeah.
Your Prime Video?
Where the heck's this recently added stuff? Did they like just drop a bunch of new stuff like this week or something?
They do all the time. You gotta watch recently added whenever you go to Amazon because they'll put stuff up for like a week sometimes.
Sometimes,
just so they can act like they've had new stuff up that's good. Like I say, I'm pretty positive I just seen that Justice League on Amazon.
And you know what? Maybe it was free for a minute, and now it's not.
I think that's what it was.
That shit happens all the time.
I was like, "What? This is a brand new movie. It must suck." Same with that Valerian. Was that Valerian movie still free?
Yes, it was free up through yesterday, and that was the other one I watched. I wanted to say, and now that movie, that one had so much potential to be so fucking awesome.
I liked it,
but I wanted to knock that. Okay, number one, you gotta understand, I'm not a violent man, but that little weasel,
the dude,
the dude was a little more Weasley than I wanted to deal with. She was awesome, but I don't know why she put up with his bullshit because as a strong, independent woman like she is.
That's true.
She wouldn't have been tolerating his bullshit.
That's true.
But visually stunning movie? Absolutely. Absolutely. I kind of liked it, but him, meh on him. But I think I've also convinced myself that anytime, is that dude like Luc Besson or something like that? He's that dude that did Fifth Element and stuff like that. I'll probably just watch whatever movie that decides to ever make anyway. because it's always pretty much visually. He's good with the visual medium, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Your account link at the top right. On the resulting page, scroll down to personalization. Personalization? That's not even a thing. Click on improve your recommendations.
I feel like Sicario's a thing. Was that a movie of the day at some point?
Prime. I've seen Sicario.
Yes, and it's actually the original Sicario is on Prime right now. The original.
I don't know.
Before they did the
from 1996. Should I watch this or no?
I didn't watch the new one. I didn't watch the old one yet.
The old one is good, I think.
Okay.
No,
I felt like that's one of those ones that I was supposed to watch at some point, but
Doesn't one have like Benicio del Toro or something like that?
I don't know and or care.
Right.
This is why I'm bad at names. I go in one ear, out the other, and I never know who anyone's talking about. Oh, man. So what the hell's wrong with Hawaii, dude? How come you guys are trying to ban everything under the sun?
It's funny you should put it that way. That's one of the things we're trying to ban is
the sun?
Spray on sunscreen. It's killing the reefs. Yeah, oxybenzones and avabenzones. Those fucking spray on sunscreens are gonna kill the fucking reefs. They have been, actually.
But is like rub-on type still okay?
Depending if it has those chemicals in it, but usually they won't have those chemicals because they don't need they're not an aerosol where they, it's like activated or whatever. So most of the lotions are still cool. And now that they're starting to try and make reef safe sunscreen, it's not quite as cheesy as, say, anytime somebody wants to put green or organic on a label just to raise the price. Actually, there is a little bit of science behind it at this time. But why do they want to ban anything? Because they're afraid of everything. And dude, okay, 2 days ago, dude got, I think, at the mall at about 3:30 in the afternoon on Sunday. Got killed outside the freaking bathroom by. Now I don't know if it was a machete or not a machete. But motherfucker got stabbed at the mall at 3:15 in town, and the dude was in court today. But crazy shit is what happens around here. Crazy shit. 3:15 on a Sunday, bro, or 3:30 or whatever it was. No place is immune to the reality of the world these days. And as I say that, Bob enters the room.
Crazy shit.
Is that where all the noise came from? Because all of a sudden I just heard crazy noise.
It's not me.
Or is that someone else rubbing their microphone?
That may be someone else.
Oh.
I think
it might have been me.
Yeah, I think Angelina fell asleep on her keyboard for a minute.
No, I did not. I did not.
That's what they said in the chat.
No, we just hadn't said anything interesting for the past 5 minutes because I've been talking. So when I say we, I mean me, I guess.
Yeah, you were talking a lot of shit. You live on a volcano, man.
I do.
It's like, you're one of those live on the edge type people. Right?
Technically, there's 2 volcanoes on this island, actually.
Yeah. So really, you're like 100% for sure you're going to die in a volcanic explosion before you die of natural causes.
Actually, I would just say that I'm 100% sure that I'm going to die.
Okay, I found it. It's called The President's Staff. Don't watch it. The President's Staff. Don't watch that.
Okay.
Plus, you live
Done
in
deal.
Hawaii and you're not allowed to defend yourself or anything.
The whole key to
Animal
the whole,
Farm. That was a
the
good
whole,
one.
That's a great one. And the whole key to living, Bob, is not dying. Don't you know? That's the whole key to living, not dying.
Yeah, but you know what? Life's a hard teacher, but in the end, you always die.
Yeah.
Boy, good thing this is the home for positive thinking chat.
Well, then you need to light a torch in this dank cave of fucking despair, man.
Yeah,
What kind of beacon are you providing?
Listen, think of the cave in Star Wars where the abominable snowman thing took Luke. That's what the cave's like. It's not dank, it's not moist, it doesn't smell bad.
It's frozen.
It's a fucking snow cave.
All right.
Now wait a minute. He ate that tauntaun in that
Star
cave.
Trek Snow Cave or the Star Wars?
I think he said Star Wars.
I think we triggered him.
Because he'll always take Trek over the wars. He's Canadian.
Smeggie does get triggered easy, especially when the temperature starts to heat up.
There are the only things that trigger me is when I hear the same damn thing every single day for like weeks on end.
That your
I swear to God, if someone says the CZ's in 1911, I'm freaking kicking you out.
Really?
So,
you don't like hearing your cave is dank and smelly?
Smeggie, about those TPS reports, we're going to need you to come in on Saturday around noon. Is that good for you?
Sure, why not?
Oh, yeah, and you know, Smeggie...
About the little red stapler. I believe that's my stapler. That's my stapler.
I told him not to move my desk again, and then moved my desk.
See, so do they learn to solve their problems because they were able to watch Kung Fu? Is that how that really worked? That and the power of positive thought? That's how he succeeded in that movie of Office Space? I think it is, man. I mean, other than the Superman 3 subplot to Office Space is pretty awesome.
I wonder what Mean Guns is all about. It's got iced tea in it.
It's called what? Mean Guns? It's
Yeah.
about how AR-15s bully the other guns in your gun safe. Wouldn't that make a cool anime?
No, actually, man, I think T was on. He was on one of the Anti's shows a couple years back, and I thought he repped pretty good.
He's pro gun, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm pretty sure he's a veteran as well, but I'm not 100% on that. I thought he was a veteran as well. And not just a veteran pimp.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that before. It doesn't. I can't say that I'm super versed in his, biography, but
I like Kid Rock.
I don't got much problem with Robert Ritchie. I think a lot of his stuff's okay. Now, Smeggie, don't tell me if you're gonna vote for him, but tell me if you would vote for him.
I do not know anything about his politics, so I don't care if he's got name recognition or whatever. I don't know if what he stands for on the issue.
Second Amendment, pro-gun, pro-less government.
And plus, I believe it's only a state senator, right? He wasn't really thinking about going for
right. Yeah, he's
U.S. senator.
He's going for state level.
I think, dude, and I'm not even bullshitting, dude. I think that he cares enough about the state of Michigan that he would actually try and do I think he would try and do a good job. Obviously, it would affect his touring schedule, as in he wouldn't have a tour. It would literally be volunteering service, basically, like it used to fucking be,
Kind of like what Trump's doing?
It might be kind of, well, we're talking about Robert Ritchie at this time. But that's who we're talking about. Kid Rock. And if I lived in the state of Michigan, I would throw a vote at him. Just because I want to see. I think that he's got it in him that he could do a fucking good job, or at least he could try. He might get shut down by his fucking fellow politicians or whatever, because we got to realize that it takes more than just one good man to make fucking policy these days. Actually, it's probably been that way the whole time they ever had the system.
Yeah, I just don't know enough about his policies. So
Yeah, go look it up.
if what
Smeggy.
Bob says is true, I mean, yeah, I'm always pro-gun and small government.
Yeah.
So that's
Go
I'm
look it
leaning
up,
towards that
Smeggy.
direction.
Go look it up, man. His politics are great. He is very pro Second Amendment, very pro firearms, very pro. It's my place. I can do what I want. My land. Kind of thing, you know.
You know, he's a long way from, his days of, traveling through the ghetto and stuff like that. Like, he has matured as a human being from the days of, before, what was it?
But he
Devil Without a Cause or whatever,
Yeah, he came from humble upbringings. Like, he had a humble.
He was kind of middle class, actually.
Lower middle class.
I don't know about that, man. Wasn't his dad
no. I mean, there's middle class, and then there's middle class, and
Okay, Bob.
bottom middle class, they pretty much hang out with poor people.
How much is a dollar worth, Bob?
Depends what time you're talking about.
60 cents in his country.
That's what thank you, Smeggy.
Oh, it's 75 right now. But,
Thank you. That's what
we got True Dumb. We have this horrible leader right now. You guys have the vote's still out on that.
You're just pissed because we're gonna tariff the shit out of your steel and aluminum, and you're crying about it. Wow.
No, I'm not really worried about
Dude, it's going to hurt us. It's not going to hurt him.
Most of your steel and aluminum come from Canada, so you're really probably not going to try
What did they say? No, it's only like it's like maybe $8 billion a year, something like that. Yeah. So
it's not big money.
And I thought we were exempting Canada and Mexico from the tariffs.
If we could ever get a pipeline, then you guys wouldn't have to depend on Saudi Arabian oil and other oil sources, right?
We have tons of pipelines coming from you.
No, not the big ones. The ones we're trying to get through. We want
that's the right from Alberta.
Now, is he talking about the natural disaster?
About it is that 3 people talked at once, and that's how it works. So, anyways, the freaking that was so crazy about like, oh, this pipeline it's terrible and it might break and blah blah blah. And then I remember seeing a map. We have like freaking like 27 pipelines got already built. Like, we're already getting all the fucking black sand and all that shit. Like, it's not that big.
Yeah, there are a lot of pipelines. But here's the other thing, Smeggs, don't forget, there's also going to be natural gas pipelines and stuff like that. Like, there's choke pipelines.
Yeah, but most of them they put underground. You never see them. They hardly ever break. When they do, they're fixed pretty quick. It's not that big an environmental problem.
I don't know, man. A lot of the pipelines I saw, they go through like the forest and the woods where I grew up and stuff like that, man. And if they do break, then they totally decimate the entire fucking area, bro.
Well,
I don't know if you know what the fuck you're talking about.
Think about the amount of energy we're talking about pumping through those things, and they do. Like, they've gotten so much better in the last 20 years. Like,
I will give that. I will definitely give that.
Pipes that were built in the last 20 years are so much better than the ones that were built 40 years ago, which are still working. Right? There's been 1 or 2 failures of old pipelines.
And they definitely, I mean, they do inspections, and I'm sure now they have the technology of having like the digital pressure gauges and stuff, so you can go like, the control room or whatever knows, like if something starts leaking or whatever, you'll see that pressure drop instantly.
Yeah. And it's an instant shut off, and then you're going to lose what's in the pipeline. But they have shutoffs that are all the way along, right? So they're not losing a lot. It just looks really bad. But they scrape it all up, clean it up. It's the same, it's.
Hey, G-Webs,
you know what you can use for that? Real danger.
Wait a minute.
The real danger. They're now having drones go out and look for whales that are stranded in nets, and they're completely autonomous. Right? These are completely autonomous drones. They just send up, they go fly and supposedly look for whales stranded in nets. But do we know what Skynet's actually doing with them?
Oh my god! Put your little hat away. So
because we actually use drones out here too. Because we have male population out here and use drones.
That's a big thing in Hawaii now, right? Robot drones.
No. Usually they're still a piloted drone. It's not an autonomous robot.
It is completely autonomous, according to the latest report from aviation. reviews and that they're now running a ton. They have somebody supervised.
Are you gonna let me ask G-Webs the question or not?
Yes,
Okay,
I am.
I'll
Thank
shut up
you.
for a while now.
G-Webs, what would you use to clean up an oil spill?
Out in Hawaii or where?
Man, I tried to tee it up. I teed it up like it's a meatball coming across the plate. You're supposed to swing. What would you use to clean up the oil, G-Webs?
Tubes? Is the answer tubes?
No, 2 words. One's a color, one's a time of day.
Blue evening. Blue evening.
Yeah,
I was thinking
Exactly.
yellow afternoon.
yeah. I try so hard sometimes, and it's okay. It's all right. Because I know that's what I use. Because
You're
it's
saying
tough on
doing something that just whisks grease out of your way.
it's tough on grease.
But not on your hands.
And I just remember you put a freaking little duck on there. Come on.
Oh,
Maybe a duck with an AK, I guess.
a
no?
Glock
It could-
duck.
Here's the deal.
How about a Glock duck?
No. You put a Muscovy duck on there, and with the AK, it's legit that way. Like we are being invaded by oil-covered Russian ducks with AKs.
So, do you guys like guns? I do.
I tried to go to the AK-47 for a second there. I'm trying.
Yeah, the AK-47 is pretty cool. I like mine.
You like 9s? We knew
I
you were
also
a
like
damn
mine,
convert.
but I said I like mine.
Hey, how come you're back to your old Smeggie again?
I have no idea. It just
He
does
switches
whatever it feels
Smeggie.
like. No, I changed it once, like 2 weeks ago, to the new logo. And I think when I host it, it's like the original picture, and when I join other people's chat, it's the new one. I have no idea why, because when I go to Google, like the Google Plus, which is where it's supposed to grab the image from, it's the cartoon one. So I have no idea. I stopped caring, so whatever.
Yeah, mine used to do that once in a while too.
It'll go back and forth to however it feels like. I don't really care. So what kind of AK do you have, Island Z? If I remember correctly, you have a pretty cool one that you got for a good deal or something.
I didn't think you could own one because it had too many bullets and it went bang too fast or something.
Nah, that was lost in a kayak accident.
Oh, what kind of AK
What?
did you used to have, Island Z?
Yeah, that was a SLR 107, I think FR, right?
Ooh, nice. Now you were out kayaking, like shark hunting, no? What is it? Those bad fish that are there? They're puffer fish or
Had to be 3 miles offshore.
yeah, lionfish. Is it lionfish?
No,
What fish are invasive? there?
lots. We have a lot of invasive fish.
Yeah. So you were out shooting them with your AK-47 and lost it overboard?
No, that is
happens
not what I'm
all the
saying.
time.
That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying I may have been trekking from across one side of the island to the other. Maybe I was depositing it on the other side of the space that I was staying at, and maybe somewhere right in the middle, something rogue wave came by, and unfortunately, it's probably in about 800 feet of water at this time.
Yeah, that happened to a bunch of my guns too.
So, well, that's pretty cool. What's so good about the SL 107? Because I've heard people are saying it's awesome.
Well, that folding stock in particular, I liked.
What kind of folding stock did I have?
It was a what do we like? Not a. Do they call it a polymer stock? Well, I don't know. It was not wood. It's folding stock though.
Ooh, it was plastic, an AK made with plastic.
Bob
Oh, that's just wrong.
Tell him how to do it, Bob.
Specifically tell you not to keep doing that. Pretty sure he specifically instructed you not to keep doing that.
wait.
That's the good folder, right? Like it's very comfortable and whatnot. That's what I've heard about those.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's still pretty light. and that's probably why it took so long to sync, I guess. But yeah, when it was at the range, it was good fun. Absolutely. But now, yeah, they're definitely trying to make a few changes potentially to some of our existing laws here, and yeah, I don't fucking know what's gonna happen.
Dude,
We shall see.
You might have to bite the bullet and just move.
Yeah, that's a distinct possibility. We'll see.
Well,
I mean,
my buddy's been looking for an AK. So, if you wanted to adopt it to a new home, I may know someone who's looking for an AK. And he doesn't know much about guns. I've been trying to help him. Like, he's one of those, I want an AK guys. And he's like, which one should I get? And I'm like, I know enough about AKs to know I can't answer that question properly.
well, and then, here's the other thing with that too. It's like there's a certain level of what a person likes or what a person expects for a specific dollar amount or whatever. Like the dudes from Prepper Gun Shop, they were very helpful when it came time to, purchase and everything like that. And it like literally was a deal. It was like when you see on like when it says quantity or whatever available, and I usually assume that's a bullshit number meant to just drive sales, because that's what I would do potentially. If I wanted to drum up sales, you make if it's supply and demand, well then sometimes you have to show that it might be you have a slight demand when really you don't or whatever. But no, it was no bullshit. It literally changed to 1 after I had purchased mine. And I think the dude's name was Eric. He's very helpful. I think that was the first time. Nope, that was the second time I had purchased anything online and got it sent to my FFL. And it's weird, the difference between a handgun and a rifle, because a handgun, you have to get a specific, almost license for. Like when you get your permit to acquire, basically, you then get a permit to purchase. And a handgun has to be I think it's got to be, what is it? It has to be the make and model and caliber, I believe, is what they have to have. It doesn't, because basically they're going to issue you a permit to purchase. It's good for maybe 2 weeks or so. And it has to be for the specific thing that you acquired the permit to purchase. So that was it wasn't that much harder. It was a little more hoop jumpy. It sucked. I didn't want to have to do any of that. But, when in Rome, you gotta kind of do what they expect of you.
That's like Michigan used to have a purchase permit. You didn't have to tell them what you were going to get, but it was, once you got the purchase permit, it was good for like a week or whatever. So you pretty much, a lot of time, like when I bought my handgun, that was still in effect, and then they've since then gotten rid of it. But basically, I found what I wanted, like put down $100 because I found it on a Sunday, and then Monday morning went into the police station, filled out the thing. It took 3 days. I got it back on Wednesday, and I went right to the shop to pick it up. Because I knew, like, once, if I, like, I'll do it in a little bit. Like, you forget about it, it expires, you got to do it all over again.
Yeah. And, for example, it's, okay, so for the TRR-8 or whatever, it was Smith, I think Smith revolver 357 Magnum. Like, that's what had to be, right? So I don't think that permit to purchase, if I would have changed, because it didn't have to have the serial number. The serial number wasn't put in until you actually went to register the firearm at the police station, which is, sometimes the first time I did it, I thought it was counterintuitive. I'm like, you want me to bring the gun into the police station to register it? Okay. All right. Don't shoot me. Thanks. But it's, it's always locked in the case, all of that shit. You no need to be stupid about anything when it's trying to be official, But so I don't think that if I would have seen like a 357 Smith in the shop or something like that, I don't know that I could have used that permit to purchase for it. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be the exact gun for the issuance of the permit to purchase. So I don't know. I just usually stuck to the plan. That was usually my plan. Stick to the plan. Plan is follow the rules. It sucks. I mean,
Right.
I don't know that it's done good on any level, but at this time I don't. It's to me, it's not an option not to do it because it is a misdemeanor for an unregistered long gun, and it is a felony for an unregistered pistol or revolver, handgun.
Right.
Excuse me.
Yeah, Michigan still has the handgun registry, but long guns are good to go. So basically nowadays, like, because what you used to do, you get the purchase permit was like a card, and it had, you know, like 3 identical things. It had like your name and address or whatever, and then like once they gave that to you, you take to the gun shop. They fill out their information, you know, gun shop name and probably FFL number or whatever. And then they put in the make, model, and serial number. You keep a copy, they keep a copy, and you turn a copy in to the state police. But like I said, a lot of the way it's like you find the gun you want, you put your deposit down on it, and then just go get your permit. But we don't have to do that anymore, so that's pretty cool. So now, just when you go to the gun shop, they just have, you know, blank copies of basically the exact same form, and you fill out your stuff, they fill out their stuff, and they put the gun information on there. And then same thing, they keep one, you keep one, and you turn one in. And you're supposed to keep your copy of it, like with the gun, for the next like 2 months or whatever, because that gives the state police time to like put it in their system. So if you're taking it to the range or whatever, they pull you over, you're like, oh yeah, like, you know, hey, there's a gun there, I'm going to search it or whatever. You know, if they can see it from the window or whatever, probable cause, blah, blah, blah. And then,
oh, I'm required to say it in this state. I have to tell, because he is going to ask me, he will ask me no matter what the conversation or what type of moving violation is, he will ask, do you have a weapon in the vehicle? That is part of the every time they ask you anything. So I ain't lying on that. But I hear what you're saying.
Right. But anyways, my whole point of that is, let's say you had just bought it a week ago, and then they pull the number up in their system and say, you're not in here. Well, if you say, well, here's my card, like, and I turned it in, it's not my fault you didn't do your job yet, then they can look at that card and say, okay, it's legal.
Well, now technically it's not the dude asking you that question at that time's job to have done the data entry, but I hear what you're saying. You're saying it's all part of the process.
The state police in general, they are responsible for keeping the registry up to date.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting, because like when I go, it is to the what is it? The Maui Police Department. That is where you go, and man, I don't know, because what they do is they're taking a picture, they type up the registration. I'm assuming that they're entering the data as it goes. You know what I'm saying? As they're getting, like as people are coming in, because anytime that I've ever been there to register a firearm, like there might be a guy ahead of me or 2 guys come in after me or something like that, but it's not like I've ever really had to wait in any kind of line at any point in time, or not for very long or nothing, which is good. But I would, because I have a hard time thinking that they wouldn't be entering that data in a timely manner here, just because of the numbers. Whereas you, dude, you have millions of more people in your state, millions more people.
Well, and like I said, you can, like, there's, if the place is like, if the licensing committee or whatever, like if they're like closed for the day, they have a drop box for the thing, like a locked drop box. You just slide it in through the top.
That's interesting, because but think about it though, man. Aren't you shoving all of your valuable information into that, those Smegs?
What's that? Don't
you throw all of your pertinent, important information on that paperwork that you're putting in the Dropbox, though?
Yes, but it's located inside the police station.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah, nobody's fucking with that. Okay.
Yeah, it's just that the counter that's in charge of the licensing part, they're only open like 9 to 5 or whatever.
Oh, you know what, man? I know a couple of officers. I wonder if I should make a mention of that. That'd be awesome, actually.
Holy
Because
crap,
I think
dude.
they're only open till about 3 or 3:30. I think here.
I forget.
Hawaiian time.
So I just went ahead and pulled out my my CZ case because I remember I put my thing.
Whoa! Hold on now.
Phone. Just because I figured,
Did you get a new gun? Is that what that is?
No, this is from back in the day.
Did you post it the other day?
No.
What's
Okay.
he talking about? What's Smeggie doing?
I don't know. I thought he was talking about a CZ SP01 or something like that.
That's what I have.
Oh, well, then you did post something on Instagram in the past, week or something? Right?
I haven't
Nope.
posted in a while.
Oh, maybe not, man. I thought I saw somebody had one, and it was either you or Moon. I thought posted.
It's probably Moon. Although Moon just bought a Beretta, so now he hates CZs.
Oh, did you? Hey,
I never thought that the Italians hated the Czechs. I never thought that was like that.
Hey, Island, did you see my new little toy? My ranch hand? Not ranch hand. It's
Mare's leg.
Mare's leg, yeah. On my Instagrams. Oh, ever I liked it.
Nice.
Oh, I love that little gun. And you know what the cool thing is? Turns out in Canada, because they consider that a rifle, so it's not restricted. It's not like a handgun. So you can carry that around, and I can put a full stock on it, and it's still just a rifle. A 12-inch barreled 357 Magnum lever action. So cool.
That's definitely a little bit all right.
Yeah.
And I would leave the stock the way it is, though, because then it fits your stature, Bob. You don't have to make it too long.
You know what? The stock sucks. Like I'm already welding up. I'm welding up.
That's stock. Because it's not a shoulder stock.
Yeah, I know. But it sucks to shoot them with one hand. I really don't like them with one hand. I really want a full stock on it. I think that'd make it a really handy little gun.
Just the length of pull on that lever, it's got to be like right next to your cheek, practically. Yeah.
Oh no, you can't shoulder them. I mean, that's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is what you do is you put a regular stock on them off a regular lever action.
Oh, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it doesn't change. It doesn't change the design of the firearm, so therefore it doesn't make it illegal.
Yeah, it's still just a rifle. Because if anything, you just made it longer, and before that, it was already just.
All right, Bob. I'm gonna have to stop you because I don't really want to think that Canada has more effective common sense gun laws than the United States.
Well, they don't have SBR.
Well, we don't.
That would bum me the fuck out. So,
like in that way, that makes perfect sense, right? Because what's the difference? Right.
But Hawaii, if you want to feel better, Bob can't have one of those.
Nice. Well, and that's the thing. I don't feel good about Bob not being able to have some. I mean, I like that sound though, Smegs. That makes me feel good.
Let's play trivia for our audience out there. What gun is this?
Let's see.
Is that a AK-47?
It depends on if you're the audience out there, but you gotta be super specific. That's how I roll.
Please. Yeah. I don't want to guess what kind of AK you bought, you cheap ass.
I think you got a winner on the YouTube side.
Yeah. Sorry, Smeggie.
I'd probably go with scars on that, but I don't know.
It's not a Sur AK.
Well, that's an L, though. Not an I.
Oh, well, it's not an SLR AK then. I read it as Sir because I just assume everyone addresses me as Sir.
Well, that's entirely possible, sir.
It's not a Wasser either.
It's probably not a Radom. It's probably not.
It's not a real AK though, right? Because it has to be made with American parts, so it's not a real one.
I don't know about all that, man. I don't know about all that. I bet it was assembled in its country of origin. I bet. was legit without giving anything away.
Legit, then yeah.
Yeah, the only one you could have really was the Yugoslavian, right? And that
Polish AK is incorrect. All right, wait. I should actually ask Smegs. I might be thinking of something else. Man, I have been. Never mind. I don't want to.
Oh wait, you know what? Smeggie finally.
It's the new gun channels.
Smeggie finally saw the light and bought a VZ58.
I doubt that. I doubt that. In the darkest of winter, he's not going to see that kind of light, Bob. You got to understand. It's not. What is today? The first day of spring, Smegs?
Lighter. It's better. It's more modern. It works better. It's more reliable. Yeah. Why would you want one?
Wrong on several of those points, but that's
Every
okay.
point.
If it is the first day of spring, you could have told the weather outside.
Oh, okay.
Someone
Yeah,
let
dude,
them
isn't
know.
it today? I think it is today.
It has Polish parts on it, somewhat. Because
Oh,
it's a
it's not
Frankenstein
even a
gun.
real AK.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's not even a real AK. I don't even want to guess anymore. I'm
Bob
gonna
says the
AK shame you, Smeggie.
bundle of joy this evening.
I haven't been in a good mood lately. You'll have to forgive me. I have a sinus cold.
All right. Well, I'll just give away the.
It's cold since like October.
Man, gee, you're gonna type messages like that,
Nice
you're
here.
gonna faint.
It's dark. It's fucking cold. It's not pleasant.
I'm gonna go with it's none of those things here.
All right. So
Wait, I mean, other than it's dark currently, it is dark.
So for anyone interested, that was a DDI AK with Polish furniture and Hungarian parts kit.
Oh, Hungary. It was made in Hungary.
Oh,
Oh,
now I get
I
it.
wonder if you were hungry, G-Webs.
And see, I totally messed it over my head, G. I'm a, you know.
Hungry parts kit. A hungry parts kit. Oh, I get it now.
No, that'd be a parts kit from Hungary.
Hungry.
Yeah. So most of its DNA is Hungarian, but as Bob so eloquently stated, yeah, it has to have some US parts. And one of those happens to be the receiver.
Oh,
So the receiver was made here. And the barrel.
not very good.
Is it one of them Nodak spuds?
Yeah.
It's a DDI.
Oh,
It's
right on.
like-
They got their own
it's like
equipment.
putting a Chevette engine in a Lada.
DDI.
I mean, really. Yeah.
DDI. DDI.
DDI.
That's Didi Mao, but yeah.
So, anyways, I want to go back up the chat a little bit here. We have a question from the audience. I told them we'd get to it in a minute, and then we got sidetracked.
In chat. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Are you guys done being entertained?
I thought we were doing the entertaining.
Oh, okay.
I actually have one more thing to say. I think we have to start a hashtag and people have to just post their mutant AKs and just put up like the hashtag no more AK shaming, right? Because it's just not right. At least they've got a gun. Right? We shouldn't shame
Bob, we will
Says
let
the
you be
person
the...
shaming me for my AK for the past
Yes,
10 minutes.
exactly.
I like that idea.
Now, Smeggie, you know that's how the far left works. That's their whole thing.
I thought he was going to say do the hashtag Franken AK.
We're going to go back in chat.
Yes, we are. So, oh, damn it. Someone said something. It just scrolled up. Damn you, hottie. Also, hello, how are you doing? So, I have a question about Red Dot sight brand called Barska. Are these red dots worth it? Or any of the people in the chat familiar
when you
with
say worth
Barska red dots?
Well, here's the deal. Like, and when you say worth it, right? Worth it. That's an interesting term that he chose because you're implying value, right? So what are you really paying for a Barska? If you're not really paying that much for it, what are you really expecting to get out of it? You know what I'm trying to say? Because like for the price you pay, you kind of get what you pay for. But I'm not going to say they're bad. I'm just saying they're not for me.
My wife and kids bought me one year because they kept like saying, "Oh, if you really want to get me a good Christmas present, get me an aim point or something like that." And left articles around about them, and they bought me a Barska, and
Glow dot.
Yeah, it died. It didn't like shotguns, and it really didn't work on the VZ.
Well, both of those, if it's meant for a 22 or something like that, yeah, the
oh no, it was meant
7.62 by 39 and the 12 gauge are definitely gonna fuck it up.
No, it was meant.
For what?
It was a about $200 sight. It was meant for heavier calibers, but
folks, that's $200 Canadian, by the way, folks, and that's full retail.
Well, I was just gonna say I'm looking at these red dots because I don't know what model number you're looking for or what type. It seems like they have a few different types, but just a quick searcher, I'm seeing them anywhere from $40 to like $80 for the like the reflective sight type thing, like the one where it like shines it up against the little like plate. But the tube looking ones, like what I think of as a red dot, they're like $40 to $60 depending on the model number. But yeah, I don't have any experience with it. Hottie's out there saying that to save the money and then get something decent.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, if you can, I don't know, wait a couple extra months or something, or something, put together a couple of, birthday presents or something, like, hey, just give me gift cards or whatever.
It's really a waste.
And then get a red dot that's 100 and something. I have a Vortex that was like, it's in the mid hundreds and, like 150 or whatever. And that's pretty decent. I like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you, Smeggie, and go. Yeah, don't waste your money on it. Like I say, I got a present and went, oh, this is cool. Went and looked it up online. It was like, it's okay. Tried it out. No, it didn't work. It would drift all over the place. Looked and found some fixes for it, and those didn't work. It was not worth the money. They would have been better if they just give me the money, and then, a couple months later, I had a few extra bucks. I could have bought something better. So, yeah, don't waste your money on those. If you really want a red dot, wait until you can afford a good one. Otherwise, train yourself on your iron sights. I mean, in most light conditions, those are your best friends. Out to 100 yards, iron sights are fine until you get old.
Oh yeah, now I'm seeing some Barskas for like $200.
I might consider Burris as well as a intermediate range, because Burris does make some good stuff, but it's not Barska, it's Burris, right? And when the Aim Point Pro, if it's not on sale, it's probably $400. And the Vortex, the Venom is 2 to 3 ish, right? What one do you have, Smegs? What Vortex name?
What's the one
that's a good question. Is it the Strike Fire or something? Is that a thing?
I'm not sure. And I will admit,
fine, I'll go back downstairs, you jackass.
Thanks.
before you do? And hello, Mr. Z. Nice.
Aloha. Good to see you too. I was gonna say the sight mark would be, I don't want to say my first embarrassment in optics, but I think it was 100 or 125 bucks. I was more of, because it was the zombie one, I'd have to say that was honestly at the time, that's why I purchased it. It literally was the Z.
I can't remember
sight mark,
the maker model number, but there was one, I thought it was between 50 and 70 bucks. It used to be a decent one, but in the past several years, it's gotten a lot of negative publicity.
Well, there's a couple and here's my problem though. I'm not a field tester for red dot, so my exposure is somewhat limited. But any reticle or articles or things like that, you have to take the author at their word, right?
Yeah. Well, it's been one that's been around for a while. Isn't like more than 5 years.
Let's see. I think I'm just gonna type in red
Dead
dot.
Horse is the one because I almost bought it at first, and about 3.5 years ago. Dead Horse was the first one that I had heard from that their quality had gone downhill, and then I checked into it since he had mentioned it, and I just got more confirmation of it.
Like, is that a Bushnell?
Yes, that's what it is.
Okay. Sometimes I just grab shit out of the air, Daniel. You know.
Yeah, and you grabbed the right one. Ouch, that hurts. Don't grab me there.
Hey now.
Whoa! In case anyone was interested, it is a strike fire.
Okay, and that's just a straight up red dot. It's not like a tube or anything.
It's this type. Hang on.
Okay.
Get out of the frame, dummy.
The one that's the shape of an L referred to as a reflex. Red dot.
So it's a.
Oh, it is a
It's a
tube.
this type.
It's like an aim
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. The
Let's
one
see
that
if
use on
it.
pistols.
Oh, you're talking about an RMR or something, Daniel?
See, there's a dot there.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
No, I like that. I like my aim point.
And then this one, it's got red or green. And then apparently
Nice.
it has like a night vision mode as well, which is sometimes annoying. You go to turn it on and somehow you because all right, so the buttons, this is like the on button is right here, and then on the back you go up, down, and then this is night vision. Well, if this gets bumped, then when you turn it on, it turns on in night vision mode, and you can't see it with your naked eye. So you're like, oh crap, is it on or is it off? Like, I don't know what's
and
up.
it's using battery or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, so that part's a little annoying, but it doesn't happen often, so I'm not super worried about it, but I like it.
Sight mark that I ended up getting, it was the Z1, so of course it had it was green instead of red. I'd have to say, and that had several choices of whether you want a dot, a crosshair with a circle, chevron. It has several listings, but I also noticed that when I took it to the range, like, it was relatively fine for accuracy, but what I noticed is it didn't necessarily. I think the first thing that happened was the battery got a little loose, and then I just changed. You know how sometimes on a cap it'll have the little. I don't want to call it a spring, but it's basically just a little piece of metal coming up, and it's supposed to tab down on the battery when you screw it on. So I just basically lifted that up and expanded it a little bit, and it never had the problem of the battery again after that. But that's one of those things that I basically changed over to the aim point after that. I kind of would like to put that on the shotgun, though. I don't know. It'd be kind of heavy. It's that EOTech one's kind of clunky. It's not an EOTech, though. It's Sightmark. So it has, like, no lightweight material.
Now, really what you want in a shotgun is a laser, because, I mean, number one, they're more robust. Number two, it's, you want to see that beam on the target. Now.
Man, our friends
and they're going
over
to be short range, right? Shotgun confrontation is going to be short range, so.
our friends over at is it? I don't want to say Laser Sight, because of course then it doesn't sound like they're our friends. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Laser Light, thank you. Laser Light. Those guys. Was it last year or even already the year before when they were coming out with the shotgun laser?
Yeah, there were like a dozen lasers.
Yeah, I would like to see that
nine.
accurately tested.
That
Well,
was
it's
supposed to be like
prism.
double up
One
box.
laser, but it goes through like a prism that disperses it or whatever.
Yeah, like a splitter. Yeah.
Now, did you happen to know, was that intended pretty much solely for training, or was that actually meant for active use?
For use.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, most of their stuff tends to be around the training area.
Oh no, not at all. Half and half. They do quite a bit of lasers that are designed for use.
So they make lasers for rifles and pistols? Just
Aiming lasers. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they have a lot of stuff. Training is a half of it, but the other half is just plain old grip laser lasers for the like little tiny guns, pocket guns, and stuff that they clip or grip onto the trigger guard.
Okay, I got you. Like, okay, right in front of it, yeah. And it just goes click.
For a Caltech P3AT, where there's no attachment point.
There's no rail. Yeah.
Like they'll make stuff that just fits onto the trigger guards usually, specific to the gun type of stuff.
When you,
I like that,
as you grip the gun, they come on. Yeah, I really like their systems. Yeah, they got a really cool.
Well, and that was all because we were talking about that shotgun for a second, and I definitely remember that they had come out, or they were coming out with that the shotgun laser, and I don't know that I ever ended up seeing any. I mean, sure, see it in a video or whatever, but I'm talking like a video where they're actually utilizing it, whether outside or inside or whatever, but something kind of thorough, because it's I don't want to say it's an investment, but it's not really a small amount either. So it's one of those things like either you got the disposable cash for it, or it needs to be a very effective tool to add. You know what I mean? In my opinion.
Exactly. And that's the thing is, in bright sunlight, lasers really do start to fail. Like, I don't
know about that.
I don't know. I've had several that, like, at more than 15, 20 feet in bright sunlight, you could not see them against the surface, or it was really hard to pick them up because they were just, there was just so much sunlight.
So you're not overly surgical with a shotgun unless you're technically in a movie.
The thing is, with a shotgun, the nice thing is if you've got an under barrel laser, you're looking at the bead anyway, right? So it's the laser just kind of helps you hone in. Right, so it works really good in low light. I love lasers in low light or nighttime or anything like that. But yeah, in bright sunlight, they really don't do anything. But the thing is, they don't detract either. I mean, they weigh ounces. You don't notice them on a shotgun. So I think they're a benefit all the way around. I'm going to give them a thumbs up both sides. Solid and firm.
You know what would be cool is if there was a laser that then had like a tracking system for when you're doing clays, and it could figure out like how fast it was going and rotate to the left or rotate to the right. So all you have to do is put the laser on the clay, and then when you pull the trigger, like, you have enough lead time.
You know what? They had that.
I call bullshit on that, Smeggie, and you should feel fucking shame. How dare you, sir?
World War II, they had it. It was called a computing gun sight. It would actually automatically compute where you had.
I don't fucking care, man. You ain't supposed to be doing that when you're shooting clays. That's my fucking point. That's the only point.
No, I agree with you completely. It would. Yeah, it's completely cheating. It's like those new laser, targeting sights, right? That you click when the laser is just exactly on, and then you pull the trigger and the gun won't fire until it's exactly.
Oh, the tracking point, yeah.
Until it has the firing solution, yeah.
Yeah, that is bullshit.
$20,000 scope or whatever.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, you allow it in a shooting competition? No. So same thing with the.
But Smegs, can I ask you a question?
I just thought that was neat technology. I didn't say I'm going to go freaking.
Point I wanted to make. Hang on for a minute. The point I wanted to make is they had that in 1940.
Okay. Then that's neat. What was your question, Z?
Since I was calling bullshit on the firing solution shotgun for clays, what would you think about perhaps, though, changing the front sight on the shotgun to, I know Tom Knapp came out with one, like, I want to say probably 10 years ago, where it's going to have a longer sight tube, and it's probably more like a fiber optic and stuff like that. I would think that would help in clays or trap, which by that means also then duck hunting or all that other shit, grouse hunting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We were actually talking about this the other day in the Smeggie Cave. I suck at shotgunning, and my problem is, like, I want to aim at something, and especially like sporting clays where you don't know like which direction they're going to pop out from and stuff. Like, you just have to like kind of know if it's moving about this fast, this far away. Like, just pull the trigger over here. You know, like it's. So like it's not a problem of seeing the front bead. I just have a regular like gold bead, gold dot.
That's what I got. Brass bead.
Yeah, brass. Whatever. Well, mine's made out of gold because you know. So I roll.
Right. And Terry possible.
He's a baller.
Mixed master schmegs.
But anyways, I can see it just fine. My problem is my brain has trouble saying like, why are you pulling the trigger in empty air when the thing's over that way? And I can't like get it to shut up enough to be like, yeah, but it's gonna be over here by the time the shot gets to it. So
yeah, you need more
looking at it like math.
moving.
Start thinking of it like math, and then you'll be able to do it.
well, that's the problem. I do think of it like math, but then I overanalyze it instead of
think of it.
like being
Where's your
smooth.
spreadsheet, motherfucker?
I know,
Spreadsheet.
and that's and I know follow through is important, and I'm the type of guy that I follow the clay, I move ahead of it, I stop, pull the trigger, you know, and then move the gun. Like I do it all wrong. I know this. That's why I shoot 20%. I mean, I'm not dumb. I know I'm doing it wrong.
Well,
But
in theory, some of those other
commenting, I don't.
sites.
I need more practice. I also haven't shot shotgun in 5-6 years.
Well, if I ever make it back, dude, we are. Just know that. We will shoot a case of clays, you and I.
Oh, let me in on
I
that.
have an 80%.
Let me in on that. Let me in on that. I'll bring my 870. We'll have some fun.
Not until you stop interrupting.
Z will be like 10 or 15 rounds in, and Bob will be just on the course, like on the field, shooting at his clays. Like, I thought you were done. I got my 870.
I'm expecting him to walk up to the launcher, blast the rack, and be like, "Oh, I got at least 50 of them right there."
Man, if you shoot my trap shack, Bob, I won't hurt you.
Jeez,
but I will make you feel bad. I will make you feel bad if you shoot my trap house.
I have a perfect punishment for him.
Absolute
if
jerk.
The launcher.
You keep complaining that I'm interrupting, but the only thing is, well, I've been listening to you for 10 minutes. I just want to say something, right? And I'm making a good point, and then you go, "Oh, you're interrupting." Like, oh, wow. Man, I don't know about you guys.
No, I mentioned that if you shot the trap house, I'd be pissed. That's all I said.
Right? You know, it's Smeggie.
What I do for one, I didn't even say anybody interrupt. But anyways, so Z, if he does shoot your trap house, I think the perfect punishment. I can build a trebuchet and we'll just launch him up into the air
like a pumpkin,
and then with rubber bullets, obviously, try and hit him with rubber bullets.
Now that sounds like fun.
And then, you know what'd be even better is if he had the Velcro suit thing. So then he sticks to the wall. So then it's not like, you hurt him when he hit the ground. You just like launch him towards the Velcro wall and shoot rubber bullets.
If all the hosts of the gun channels had a chance to go to Jaeger's training center and do a simulation, screw you, we're all against each other. Every man for himself.
That's not how that works, Bob, but okay.
You know what? It would be hilarious. Because you guys...
I do see where you're coming from. You're coming from.
You guys would all be dead, man.
Is this the same confidence that created the whole Sharpie knife thing?
Oh, the original fight was nothing like what actually happened.
Are you ready, Smegs? We'll get him back in the white overalls, and we'll just we'll duct tape him and put the Velcro tape on him. And work out perfect.
And we'll have him.
It's gonna work, right? You realize I'm like, fucking way smarter than all of you, so you're never gonna get me in a position where you can do that.
Exactly. Actually, I'll probably be able to go shoot some clays. I'm thinking it's looking like it'll be next month, but go to the Maui Trap and Gun Club in Highly Miley.
So Michael's asking a gun question on the YouTube side of the comments.
Hey, we like those.
So he's asking if people in the chat think that if the shotgun is still a viable home defense firearm, and he says I've never heard anyone really mention them. And I said, not in my opinion. Then he followed up with, could you elaborate on why? Is it overpowered for inside the home? Question mark. And no, I don't think it's the overpowered. It's the lack of capacity of ammunition. So the size of
how many rounds do you need, dude?
That's
the-
not what he
size
said.
of the firearm versus the number of rounds you can carry versus the way that those rounds work. So since you're responsible for each projectile that you put down range, I don't want to have random in that equation. So I don't mind shotgun for shooting birds where it's appropriate. Maybe for hunting critters if you can't use rifles, like if there's a center fire issue, you
Right.
need to hunt with shotguns, but I don't like them for home defense at all. I don't like them.
Well, and that is the, what do you call it? Like, that's the price of entrance or whatever, right? So like your shotgun is probably going to be, say, I'm going to say affordable, which is very nebulous and vague, but I think that G is right. Like, if you're counting on buckshot or whatever like that, each one of those has a lawyer attached to it or whatever. That's what they tried to tell us. And basically, so if you don't go with something of that size and then you do go with a slug or something like that, that's basically a cannonball you're launching through a stick frame house and some drywall. Now,
and the house next to it.
well, you know, that is certainly the potential on all of that. And then basically, if you're like, well, then I'm just going to use birdshot. Well, then basically, why would you potentially use an ineffective self-defense round? Or, excuse me.
Honestly,
Home
you
defense
guys have never seen something get hit with birdshot at 15 yards.
I have seen the Vice President of my United States of America shoot a judge in the face, Bob, with birdshot. And the judge apologized to the Vice President.
And it was 100, or it was 30 or 40 feet away. It's not the same thing as a home defense situation. At 10 feet, that thing is not out of the shot cup yet. It's hitting you as a massive lead.
At 10 feet, at 10 feet, it's probably starting to. But yeah, you're not wrong necessarily.
The glazer round. And that is most of your home defense situation.
But this is what I was trying to answer his question, though, was
it's still only fist size. And if you don't think that's going to make somebody turn around and run, you've never seen the kind of damage
in real life.
I don't know about that.
Your concept of like manliness. What we're worried about is the system of law we live in this country, and going into court to explain why you used buckshot to defend yourself is not reasonable, and it's not something that you can. Your peers.
Man, it's something you got to consider, Bob, because that's exactly how that shit's gonna go, man. And you know, on the other hand, you know, if you live in the country or you live on a farm, you live on a ranch or something like that, where it's not any less important to keep track of where they go, but let's say that they may have space before they intercept any solid object, that sometimes it can be an effective tool. Like, say, if the grizzly bear kicked in the door or something like that, I would be happy to have a 12-gauge shotgun with the fucking slugs in it. But I guess the point I was going to be for the guy is like, if that's what you can afford, like, because that's what you can afford, you know, practice a lot if that's what you want. You know what I mean? Like, I would say I'm with G in that there are definitely different options for the same job. And a lot of those options are going to do a better job than a shotgun will.
And with police trade-ins, you can get pretty much whatever caliber you want for the most part out of a reliable firearm.
Yeah, and you can also look at, I mean, you know, the 9mm 45 has pretty decent penetration properties. Yeah. But you also have to look at, you know, what you can afford. I don't care what it is you can afford. Whatever you have to defend yourself, good on you. Whatever you can afford to defend yourself, good thing.
Psycho Camp picked up a 45. It was M&P, police trade-in.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, so if you want some details on what somebody who actually bought one, and he also gives the name aside of where he's got one. Check out Cycle Camp. I forget if there's a number at the end of his username or not. But he put out a video just today, I think, today or the day before.
Yeah, it was. So just check Cycle Camp, you'll find him. But yeah, that's a really good option. But it doesn't matter if you've got a 25 ACP. If that's what you can afford and that's what you have, that's what you have, right? I mean, a pointy stick is better than nothing.
And that's why I was trying to say earlier, is like, no matter what you end up with, you practice. Practice and take training if at all possible.
Well, it's kind of hard. If you can barely afford a decent firearm, how are you going to afford training? I mean, I guess watch some YouTube videos. Like Dano's favorite thing is online training. Yeah, if that's what you can afford, do that. Practice at home. Make sure the damn thing's empty.
Snap caps, my friend. Snap caps are awesome.
Snap caps are great, and I have them. But you know what? They're not cheap, and
they're a hell of a lot cheaper than letting a round rip through your
loose. Yeah. And actually, they're pretty affordable, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, they're affordable, but I mean, same thing.
Well, they ain't free. They ain't just giving them away or whatever. I mean,
get a chance and you go out shooting, save your empty rounds, put a piece of pencil eraser in there, super glue it in there on top of the dead primer, or take the dead primer out, put the pencil eraser in there, use that if you have to. Get the
well, I suppose if you had to, but I don't want that shit all over the inside of my receiver, man. I do not want that.
Dude, would you rather him not train?
I'd rather have
correct.
$6-7 on snap caps.
Right? Isn't that all they are? I mean, or am I wrong? I mean, I live on an island, so my shit is prices are fucked up out here anyway.
But
so
what I'm saying is, we're talking about somebody who's like, just I've gotta eat ramen noodles for the next whatever they're called, for the next 2 weeks just to buy a cheap 25 caliber semi-automatic, so I have something. Yeah, they might not have the $6 for snap caps because maybe they want to have a cup of coffee.
Wait a minute. Check it out. So there's a little bit of a response on the YouTube, and I definitely want to say to Michael, I am much liking G-Web's comment that just came in behind yours.
That it looks like a hand threatening.
I would prefer that as well.
Hand threatening a kid? That doesn't make any sense.
Whatever.
So, number one, snap caps are plastic, usually clear, with a spring and a brass piece. And snap caps specifically are to prevent damage to firing pins, typically in shotguns. So a dummy round is a solid plastic or somehow other strong, resilient type of a solid, or at least non-firing